In this journey of personal growth alongside everyday adventures, I have discovered that approaching women I fancy is not about rehearsed lines or perfect gestures. It is rather an exploration into the art of genuine connection that requires courage, authenticity, and vulnerability. I remember the early days of feeling uncertain and nervous, where each step felt like walking on a tightrope between hope and self-doubt. In these moments, the heartbeat of any encounter was defined by a blend of excitement and fear, a reminder that every meaningful interaction begins with a spark of risk. My experiences have shown me that the key to talking to women I fancy lies not in being overly flamboyant or scripted, but in embracing the natural rhythm of conversation. Every encounter, whether it ended in laughter or in a quiet goodbye, taught me something invaluable: that authenticity matters more than perfection. I found that the first step in overcoming any internal barrier is to acknowledge those feelings and transform them into motivation for improvement. It was during many evenings spent reflecting on small interactions and quiet successes that I began to understand the importance of trusting my instincts, letting my personality shine, and genuinely listening to the other person. There is beauty in imperfection, and each attempt, no matter how clumsy, carried a lesson in self-acceptance and growth. This narrative is not just a tale of social encounters, but a careful study of the human spirit, a record of how vulnerability and courage pave the way to more fulfilling relationships. I invite you to join me on this journey as we explore in depth the strategies, encounters, and reflections that together form a mosaic of experiences guiding us toward confident, genuine conversation. This is my story, honest and unfiltered, shared with you as a friend. The backdrop for my journey is a vivid tapestry of urban life, where every street corner, bustling cafe, and quiet park bench holds the potential for a meaningful encounter. I often found myself wandering through city streets, the hum of conversation and the aroma of fresh coffee serving as a constant reminder that human connection was ever present. The scene unfolds with vibrant visuals, crowded marketplaces where vendors call out cheerfully, libraries filled with concentrated silence, and lively festivals that celebrate creativity and spontaneity. I recall sitting in a quaint coffee shop during early autumn, the golden leaves drifting outside the window as I contemplated the magic hidden within ordinary moments. It was in these unassuming settings that I first observed how simple gestures and shared glances could transform an ordinary day into an unexpected adventure. The city served as both backdrop and character in this unfolding drama, offering countless opportunities to practice and refine the art of conversation. Whether passing by a crowded market or strolling alone in a quiet park, I felt that the environment itself nudged me toward taking that first brave step. Every location, every minute detail, from the textures of old brick walls to the soft background music in a little-known bookshop, contributed to a sense of anticipation, painting life as a series of small, serendipitous encounters. This dynamic canvas of urban life was not merely a physical setting, but a stage where every interaction and every silent moment was layered with meaning and possibility. Amidst this backdrop, I encountered both challenges and moments of clarity, each experience serving as a lesson in the art of communication and self-discovery. Reflecting on these varied experiences has taught me to appreciate the subtle cues of the environment and to view every public space as a potential venue for genuine human connection. As I walked these lively streets and observed so many colorful lives unfolding around me, I became increasingly convinced that every setting holds its own wisdom and charm, each encouraging me to further embrace the unpredictability of my own journey. This setting has forever shaped my perspective on connection. My earliest encounters in the realm of approaching women I fancied were marked by a mixture of trepidation and wonder. I vividly remember standing at the threshold of a busy farmer's market, heart pounding as I noticed a warm smile exchanged between a vendor and a visitor, which sparked in me the courage to attempt my first conversation. I remember the shyness that wrapped around me like a heavy cloak as I struggled to form the right words in that fleeting moment, aware of every hesitant beat of my pulse. That day, as I made my way slowly through a crowd of chattering customers, every step felt laden with the pressure of a silent hope that a brief connection could change the course of my day. I encountered moments of both awkward silences and subtle hand gestures that communicated more than words ever could. Each instance, a gentle reminder that vulnerability can be a powerful bridge between souls. On another occasion, at a small art exhibit filled with vibrant paintings and thoughtful onlookers, I found myself captivated by the energy of a woman whose eyes sparkled with curiosity and kindness. Surrounded by creative expressions and the gentle murmur of appreciative visitors, I sought a moment of connection where our shared appreciation for art could dissolve the barriers of formality. Each encounter, no matter how fleeting, taught me the importance of patience, empathy, and the willingness to step outside my comfort zone. These early experiences, though sprinkled with uncertainty and mistakes, became the cornerstone upon which I built my growing confidence. I learned that every moment of hesitation, every misstep along the way, and every encouraging smile from a stranger was a quiet lesson in the art of genuine human interaction. In retrospect, these early encounters were not flawless, but they ignited a spark within me that has since grown into a steady flame of self-assurance. Even though some interactions ended in neutral acknowledgement or polite smiles, each one planted a seed of belief that the world of conversation held endless opportunities for growth. These formative experiences continue to influence the way I approach every new connection, reminding me that even an imperfect start can lead to meaningful progress. Looking back, I appreciate those nerve-wracking moments and awkward encounters as essential chapters in a longer story of personal evolution and the quest for genuine connection. I wholeheartedly embraced every precious lesson. Over time, I distilled several key strategies that transformed the daunting task of talking to women I fancy into a manageable and even enjoyable journey. The first and most important insight was to prioritize authenticity above trying to deliver a flawless performance. I learned that genuine conversation flows naturally when I allow myself to be both expressive and sincere, rather than rehearsing lines that might sound artificial. Instead, I focus on observing the little details, the sparkle in someone's eyes, the subtle shift of a smile, or the way a moment feels uniquely shared, to guide my approach. A second strategy is to actively listen and engage, ensuring that the conversation is a two-way street rather than a monologue filled with predetermined statements. I make it a point to consider the environment and the context, letting the setting naturally suggest topics that resonate. Whether it is a quirky piece of art on the wall or the weather reflecting an autumn chill, I encourage taking small risks, such as opening with an observation about the surroundings or a lighthearted comment that bridges the gap between strangers. I learned to view moments of silence not as awkward gaps to be instantly filled, but as natural pauses that allow both parties to reflect and transition smoothly. Maintaining a calm and friendly demeanor has proven essential, as it reassures both myself and the person I am engaging with that our interaction is respectful and grounded in mutual interest. In each conversation, I also remind myself that rejection is not a reflection of my worth, but rather a signpost directing me to better understand the dynamics of human connection. Over time, by consistently applying these methods, I found that my confidence grew, making each conversation feel less like a performance and more like a shared moment of honest exchange. Another essential piece of advice is to prepare mentally before engaging, taking a few deep breaths and visualizing a positive outcome, which helps to calm any lingering anxiety. I have observed that dismissing self-judgment and accepting each conversation as a valuable learning experience reduces the pressure that often hinders spontaneous interaction. I treat every conversation as an opportunity to refine my social skills, learning not only from successes, but also from the moments when things did not go as planned. I have discovered that a balanced blend of self-awareness, readiness to adapt, and empathy not only eases the initial tension, but also paves the way for deeper, more meaningful connections. I advise viewing each conversation as a stepping stone rather than a final evaluation of worth, a mindset that fosters continuous growth and self-improvement. By employing these strategies, I have transformed nervous energy into excitement and uncertainty, into a genuine readiness to engage with new people. Each conversation now feels like an invitation to share a moment of true connection, a small yet significant exchange that enriches both our lives. I continue to apply these insights every day, always in pursuit of sincere conversation and authentic human contact. Despite the progress I made, fears and rejections were constant companions on my journey to master the art of conversation with women I fancy. I encountered moments when my heart pounded so loudly, it felt as though it might shatter, each adverse encounter leaving a mark of self-doubt on my confidence. I vividly recall sitting alone in a dimly lit cafe where an unexpected rejection left me stunned, sparking a cascade of introspection about my own worth. In that quiet moment, I realized that rejection is not a verdict on my character, but rather a fleeting experience from which I can learn and grow. I began to view each rejection not as a personal failure, but as a stepping stone toward developing a thicker skin and a deeper resilience. This mindset shift was gradual, emerging from repeated experiences where each small setback offered an opportunity to examine my approach and refine my technique. In those quieter moments following a rejection, I would sit in silence and allow my thoughts to settle, recalling that even a negative outcome contained a hidden lesson. I learned to embrace the sting of rejection as a signal to be kinder to myself and as a prompt to adjust my approach for future encounters. I gradually replaced my fear of failure with a robust sense of self-worth, allowing each interaction, successful or otherwise, to reinforce the belief that my value was inherent. My encounters with rejection eventually became less daunting, and I learned to carry a calm resolve, knowing that every no was simply a guidepost directing me towards the right opportunity. In facing my fears, I gradually built a mental fortitude that empowered me to continue seeking genuine connection despite the inevitable setbacks. Through perseverance and self-reflection, I discovered that overcoming rejection was not about eliminating fear entirely, but about learning to navigate it with grace. Each setback became a milestone marking the progress of my journey toward a more resilient and honest expression of self. I now view fear and rejection as essential ingredients in the recipe for personal growth and authentic interaction. They fuel progress. Looking back on my journey, I recognize that each misstep, awkward pause, and fumbled phrase was a valuable lesson rather than a defeat. I now understand that self-improvement stems from an honest evaluation of these moments rather than denying them. Each time I reflected on a conversation that didn't go as planned, I was able to identify small changes that contributed to a more confident and engaging approach in the future. I cherish the lessons learned from moments when I spoke too quickly or overthought my responses, as these instances sparked a deeper commitment to authentic communication. Mistakes are not failures, but stepping stones that steadily lead me toward a more refined way of connecting with others. Through constant practice, reflection, and a willingness to adjust my approach, I have cultivated a more agile mindset that welcomes feedback and accepts imperfection. I make it a point to regularly review my interactions and identify areas where a slight change in tone or timing made a significant difference. These reflections encourage me to remain patient and persistent, as every stumble provides an opportunity to reconnect with my true self. My journey of continuous improvement is fueled by the belief that genuine connections are built not in spite of our imperfections, but because of them. Each day, as I commit to learning from my mistakes and striving for better communication, I discover new dimensions of my personality and capacity for connection. The process of reflecting on my errors is a continuous loop that has honed my ability to adapt and grow with each conversation. This reflection serves as a mirror, allowing me to see my progress and reinforcing the importance of embracing a mindset of lifelong growth. I recognize that improvement is not a destination, but a journey that unfolds with each conversation. As I draw this journey to a close, I reflect on the insights and experiences that have reshaped my approach to talking to women I fancy. Every encounter, whether marked by laughter, silence, or even rejection, has contributed to a mosaic of personal growth and newfound confidence. I now stand with a deeper understanding that engaging in conversation is less about the perfect phrase and more about the courage to be authentic. I embrace the belief that every interaction is a personal invitation to learn, evolve, and discover parts of myself I never knew existed. This reflective journey has taught me that vulnerability is a strength, and each genuine conversation regardless of its outcome, is a victory in itself. I take with me not only the practical strategies, but also the emotional journey that has enriched my life and expanded my perspective on authentic connection. My journey underscores the importance of embracing imperfections, viewing rejections as mere stepping stones, and continuously evolving through everyday interactions. I encourage anyone facing similar challenges to trust in their own narratives, to accept every misstep as part of a grander tale, and to find solace in the shared human experience of connection. This journey is far from over, and with each new conversation, I am reminded that the true reward lies in the willingness to show up and be seen. I leave you with this final thought. Authenticity shines brightest when we dare to pursue genuine interaction, no matter how unpredictable the path may be. Every step taken, every lesson learned, and every moment of vulnerability contributes to the story of who we are becoming. As I stand here today, I am grateful for the journey, hopeful for the future, and confident that every genuine conversation will pave the way for more authentic connections. This is the tale of continuous growth, an invitation to embrace life fully, and a celebration of the courage it takes to simply be oneself. In the end, every sincere effort in communication is a step toward building a more connected and compassionate world. Embrace connection and let love flourish.